Now, a KXAN News investigation.
We have the exclusive story of a cold case homicide that's frustrating Austin police detectives. This case raises questions of vigilante justice and whether a teenager suspected of breaking into cars deserved to be fatally shot in a North Austin alleyway. It happened nearly 5 years ago, but now a witness to the crime is talking publicly for the first time, hoping someone knows where the killer is. Here's KXAN's Robert Maxwell.
I felt guilty, like it was my fault.
It's been more than 4 years, but Ebby Leal Monroy still grieves the loss of his best friend.
He was just funny. He was a good person.
To hear Ebby tell it, Luis Lopez was the kind of friend forged through the bonds of teenage adventures.
He was always worried about the other person rather than himself.
And lost through a tragic decision.
Police are searching for clues this morning after an Austin teenager was gunned down overnight.
Police dashcam video shows him sprinting down the road at nearly 11 p.m. the night of August 12, 2008. An Austin police officer on patrol on East Runberg Lane responded after hearing a single gunshot.
Hey, man, can you hear me? Austin Police Department.
When the officer got to an alley off Crown Ridge Road, really just a driveway for a line of small duplexes, 17-year-old Luis Jesus Lopez was lying face down. He'd been shot in the spine. Let's point out neither boy had been in major prior trouble with the law, but the police report says moments before, Ebby and Luis were casing vehicles in the neighborhood to steal a stereo that Luis used his cell phone to shine light into the car. As Ebby walked down that alley, the part that happened next is burned into his memory.
And then out of nowhere, it's hard to go back. Like, I guess someone else came out, a man came out, and then me and Luis started to run. He says run, so we run, and next thing you know, you hear a shot go off.
That night, we'll never know for sure whether the attempted car break-in would have happened. But for the two boys, being in this alley then turned out to be a mistake that one of them would not walk away from. Austin homicide detective David Fugit has been pursuing leads in the case since that summer night in 2008 after the suspect, Arturo Bueno, took off.
Where do you think he is?
We believe at this particular time that he may be somewhere in Mexico. And we've been working extensively with the U.S. Marshals as well as with the PGR.
In his tiny apartment facing the alley, police say Bueno left behind a cache of weapons, including an AR-15 assault rifle, 2 shotguns, and 2 handguns.
Again, it's kind of been a roller coaster ride because at certain times we think that we gained leads as to his whereabouts, but unfortunately have not panned out.
He also left his common-law wife. She told police after hearing the shot, Bueno came back into the apartment and told her they were robbing from the neighbors. They were coming towards me. The police arrest warrant also indicated Bueno said, "I just wanted to scare them." If it was an accident, Bueno, who would now be 32 years old, is not around to confirm it. And others who lived here that night have long since moved away. So the story rests in Ebby's hands, a young man now, and getting used to being a dad.
And I just had a son about a little over 3 months ago.
Ebby's son is called Isaiah. His middle name is Luis, in honor of his father's friend who died so young.
How often do you think about Luis?
Daily.
Yeah. What do you think about? It's okay. It's okay, man. You're okay.
Even close to 5 years later, the grief wells up.
Like that, I miss him.
In Austin, Robert Maxwell, KXAN News.
And if you have a tip for our Investigates team, email us at investigates@kxan.com. And you may also call our tip line 512-703-5255.